Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to OLC TV for some more A World Betrayed DLC 4 Total War 3 Kingdoms Perfect Start series. This first one as the new free LC Yan Baihu, the White Tiger. So, the way this new DLC works is you tend to have pairings of factions going off against each other. You have Cao Cao and Lu Bu up in the Central Plains, and you have Sun Ce and Yan Baihu for the south. So Yan Baihu is the foil for Sun Ce essentially in this. Now, Yan Baihu is a bandit faction, and bandit factions have been reworked. I'm not going to go into a massive amount of detail into the specifics of how they've been reworked, but I will in this show you the basics of what I think will work long term for building up as a bandit faction, especially for Yan Baihu. Yan Baihu himself is a sentinel, and he has Stalk, which is this interesting stance as faction leader, and he has plus 5% replenishment faction wide as well, which is quite useful. His faction specialization is the White Tiger Confederation, so this will increase for every ally or coalition member you have joining you. It also decreases research time for the Bandit Network. The Bandit Network replaces that really beautiful tree of reforms that you get for regular factions, and operates a little bit more like a standard research table, essentially. It also reduces recruitment costs of non-bandit units. You have access to a huge range of units as the bandits now. So you can have bandit units which tend to have a little bit weaker morale, maybe not as well equipped, and then regular units, but the regular units cost a fair bit more. And also as a bandit you have access to all bandit mechanics, obviously. So what you're trying to do is build a coalition of people. Unfortunately, a lot of the people around you are quite friendly, but we'll go into that as we enter the game. You have some unique features and units. You have the White Tiger Warriors, who are an assault infantry, who have splash attacks and very good against shields, big axe-wielding troops. I quite like those guys. And the White Tiger Raiders, who are very, very interesting group of archers as well. You also have the Shanyu Camp, which is a minor settlement option. So the bandits have for minor settlements this additional building slot that you don't get as regular factions, which I'll explain in game, and the mercenary treaty, so you can be paid to fight in other people's wars to earn money, which is quite useful. You have Yang Yu, who is your brother, as your heir as well. Bandits now have heirs, though I can't remember specifically what they call them. I don't think it's heir, I think it's like next in line or something they call them, who is a champion. He's not as good as Yan Baihu, but he's not bad at all. And primarily what you're going to be doing is trying to resist Sun Ce. So, enough of the talk, let's get into the game.
Nian少时，孩儿总是活在父辈的阴影之下。然而幼子终有长大成人的一天。届时吾辈必须独当一面，做出抉择。是要继承父辈的基业，亦或另辟蹊径？命由我，此生伟绩，当由孤自己书写。
此地归于大王治下已有一段时日。大王之威名亦遍传四方，但江东局势恐将生变，
我无论生死，都属于这群山与峡谷。这里不但是我的家乡，也是那些愿与我共创大业之人的家乡。我们要同生共死，荣辱与共。
山岳之民也将此地视为故土，大王可以之为援，共抗外敌，扩张势力。如今孙策已开始向江东进军，大王正需要他们的援助。虽然大王与孙策之间还有刘瑶相隔，但恐怕他坚持不了太久。
若他想夺取刘瑶的领地，那便听之任之；但他若是得寸进尺，觊觎我等的领地，那就只好给他点颜色瞧瞧。此地是我严白虎的猎场，那些胆敢觊觎窥视我领地的无耻狂徒，必将闻风丧胆。
Okay, and here we are, and as always, we have the establish your power. Even here, far from the capital, chaos is spreading, Yan Baihu. Your lands are threatened by ambitious warlords. Their greed cannot go unpunished. Those who call the south home and others around the land sympathetic to your cause must now rally to defend a way of life in danger of vanishing forever. So that's a nice subtle hint that you need to start doing coalitions, because coalitions give you bonuses. So you see this, we currently have White Tiger Confederation score of 0. Next level up, we get all of these bonuses, and they build up and build up and build up to minus 20% recruitment cost, minus 20% cost of establishing tribes and traditions, minus 10 on establishing faith and folly, 20% clandestine corrupt, and 50% outlaws and outcasts. It's really quite handy. Anyway, first mission. The tiger claims his land. We must have land if we are to grow our forces and create a frontier from which we can push back against the interlopers. Real power lies in the Commanderies, but you must start gradually, capture a county and build from that foundation. The Commanderies will be yours in time, so we need to capture Poyang weapons craftsmen. And we'll get support from the people, which is plus 5 public order and plus 25 faction support, faction-wide. Now, before we do anything else, ancillaries. Military great axe and a brown thoroughbred. Okay, so let's have a quick look at who we have here. So we have Yan Baihu, who is our leader. He already comes with a bow. You want to keep a bow with him. If you get a better bow, switch it out, of course, but he has a lot of archery-based special attacks, which are really powerful. You also start off with a builder, which is better for an administrator, but I'm not going to throw an administrator in right now, so I may as well give it to him just because it'll give him benefits, and I can always change it out later. Now, Yan has a shocking weapon. But here, of course, we got this, but you always start with this spear as well. Now, actually, I am definitely going to give him this. Now, normally, this is the first time I've ever got this, because obviously they're random at the beginning. If not, if you don't have anything better, just give him the spear. It's absolutely fine. Does a pretty good job. Also, the composite bow for him is quite handy in the short term, though it can also go to Panlin, because you're going to want to bring him into the army very soon as well. And that is precisely what I'm going to do, because instead I'm going to give him the brown thoroughbred that we picked up, which again isn't standard. Huanglong Law, by the way, Huanglong means yellow dragon. It's a nickname. These guys are bandits. A lot of the names they have are nicknames. They're not actual names. We're going to give him this just because it's going to deal with his satisfaction. Panlin, like I said, we're going to give him the bow. And Joe Boar, unfortunately, gets nothing. Poor him. But he is weak and cowardly, so sod him. Right, all of those applied. Next thing we're going to do is look at Bandit Network. So you can see this down here. This replaces the Reform choice. So here's a map of China, and this is the Bandit Network. And you can see all of these ones with a tick here are ones we already have. And they give, each one of them gives you different bonuses, potentially unlocks new units or gives you higher recruitment cap for a specific type of unit. Because for certain types of units, you can only recruit, say, 2 of them, and you need to do more research to be able to recruit another 2. Okay. You'll also notice that they have different times to unlock. So this is 8 turns, this one's 6 turns, this one's 4 turns. There are ways to speed this up through buildings. Also, your White Tiger Confederation will do it as well. As you can see for this one, it's part of Tribes and Tradition. So you get, with a higher White Tiger Confederation score, you will get a reduction to the cost for this specific thing as well, just speeding things up. See, this one's Outlaws and Outcasts. Now, You also get huge bonuses to speed in researching these based on ownership of the territories. So you do want to put these sort of hand in hand with where you are attacking as well, because that will help you in the short term just to speed these things up. But right now we're kind of stuck where we are, and we own a lot of the ones around where we are based. So we're not going to be able to get to these areas that quickly, but we know that the Yellow Turbans own a lot of this area down here. So we are going to be pushing down here. Now, your choices, my personal choices for the best ones, are between here, Outcasts of Dragon Rock and Scions of the Minyu. So this one gives you +5 loot, which is quite nice, +3 melee damage, and +4 morale for spear infantry. Morale for spear infantry is quite good because your basic army at the beginning starts off with 2 lots of bandit gangs who have shocking morale. This one reduces the upkeep and increases the income from banditry as well, which again is quite nice. It also unlocks regular G infantry, which are better than any of your bandit spear equivalents right now. For me, I've played it with both of these. These units that you get here are much better, but the income from here is really, really useful, and the reduction in upkeep is useful. So I personally prefer Outcasts of Dragon Rock, but either of them will give you pretty good benefits, and that will take 4 turns to clear. Now, before I carry on, fair warning, there's a chunk of diplomacy about to happen. It takes a minute. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to look at trade agreements first. We have 3 people we can trade with, Xu Gong, Liu Yao, and Wang Lang, and just a quick look will show you that Liu Yao is the best option. So we're going to go to Liu Yao because he has trade value of 300, and he has 3 unique resources that we can trade. And we're going to negotiate deal. Now, also, we want to receive a marriage. We're going to bring in Liu Pingmin, and we're going to marry her to Yan Baihu. Okay, just so we can start to produce heirs. I mean, you don't really have heirs as such, like you do for other factions. You have like the next in line and stuff like that. It's less familial, I believe. But anyway, start to get marriage, and also tightens up a relationship with someone we want to be friendly with. Now this gives us a -4.6, which is like, wow, that's a lot, but we can deal with that with some of these things here. So that doesn't do much, but if you were to give him a non-aggression pact, it drops all the way down to 1.6. Then just throw some money at him. Now you don't have a huge amount of money at the beginning, but you'll be able to more than make this up in a second, and I will show you how. So this should cost around 600. There we go, exactly 600. But we get +100. Hua Xin likes us more, Xue Li likes us more, and this all benefits towards our coalition building. Now we're going to go to non-aggression pact, and we're going to go to Hua Xin, and we can negotiate with him, and we're going to say, pay me. So all of these chaps, we're going to sell non-aggression and military access, because military access is going to help us against Sun Ce anyway, too far. And non-aggression pact is going to secure our borders. And remember, we're going to want to long-term lock these guys into a coalition. So there we go, there's 271, starting to earn back that money we just spent. Now we're going to go into military access, and we're going to start with Xu Gong, and we're just going to go down the list. So, proposed deal, request payment, chuck money at me, ooh, little bit too much. Xu Gong does not have as much money to go for it as the others, but it's absolutely fine. Military access, Liu Yao. So this is the chap we obviously just got the marriage and everything from, but look, see how little it was before. It's now 4.6. That's why we did it that way. And we're going to request a payment, and believe me, you're going to get more than your 600 back from this chap. It's about 720, 718, something like that. So you're going to make 100 plus in this deal. There we go, 718 exactly. So you make 118 from that deal, and you've got a wife out of it, so that's not bad at all. Military access as well with Xue Li. Proposal was 2.6, so we're going to get a couple of hundred from him, which isn't bad as well. And try and get the best option for it, because even though you want to be friendly with them, you do kind of need the money. I hate it when it does this. There we go, 318. And military access to Xu Zhao. And Xu Zhao has a little bit less as well, but we'll request payment. And almost there. And it should be about 220 odd for this chap. Almost. There we go, 222. There we go.
我方同意了。
So in all of that, we've made almost 1,000, and we spent 600, and we got a wife. So you can't really complain.
将领并肩杀敌之际，
There we go. Yes, and we have a wife on the way. Now, quick note about this: he has a slightly different court to regular factions. Underling, next in line, incense master, blah blah blah. And the underling, as you see, gives you minus 20% corruption, plus 10% income from all sources, all the rest. But the salary increase potentially could be huge for people if you start to upgrade along here. Down here, it's less. I mean, it's 0. So you don't need to worry about it. And it does increase corruption for adjacent enemy commanderies. So it does give you a pretty decent bonus. Minus 7% construction cost isn't bad as well. If you have a quick look at all of these chaps, of all of these, the best is your wife. For just a massive reduction in construction cost. So we're going to put her in, and we're going to put her into Xindu. So in she goes. That's going to reduce the construction cost. She has something to do. It's quite nice. Also assignments, I'm going to drop Jobor in and 50% income from peasantry, because our income is banditry and peasantry. Banditry is a new faction income, and there's banditry food as well. Whilst we're here, you'll notice that the lumberyard has this attached to it. Now this is a special building chain for bandits, because bandits don't want to upgrade the central towns too much. They prefer to upgrade over here. And you'll see their garrisons and everything for these are so much improved to the regular ones. But in mustering grounds, Shanyu camp, preparatory camp, food tents, black markets, they're all wonderful. I'm not going to build any of these right at this moment in time. Instead, I'm going to go for the tribute hall, because the tribute hall will increase my income from tributaries, which I don't have any right now, but long term it's not a bad thing. But the plus 8% post-battle loot is important. The minus 10% construction cost long term is useful, and the plus 5% tribute in diplomacy and income from mercenary treaties is useful. So we're going to do that. Okay, that is all of our administration done. Now to look at the fighting. So here's Yan Baihu, and here's his army. He has some light axe infantry who have no shields. They're pretty good, to be honest, but you've got to keep them protected. And he has the heavy sword infantry of the Ye Remnant Warriors, who are bronze, kitted out soldiers. These guys are tasty. They're good. They're really good. But again, no shields. Yan Yu has the Yue tribesmen, who are good, spear, but shieldless. Unfortunately, these chaps, they might be good against mounted, but their poor morale means they run a lot. So bear that in mind. You also want to take note of loot. This is not supplies like before. So high loot will give you a reduction to campaign movement range, and may even reduce your fighting ability for your troops. Whilst if you reduce the amount of loot you have, you may see faster movement and more fighting ability. And you can change your loot by sharing the spoils, for example, but you cannot fight a battle in it. So you can't do anything right now with this. So what we're going to do, we've been tasked to capture Poyang weapons craftsman. There's an army in the way. We're going to ignore that army, and we're going to click straight on the weapons craftsman. You might ask me why we're going to do that when it gives us a Pyrrhic victory. Well, it's simple. We've now positioned ourselves between two armies, which in most cases would seem completely illogical. We've sandwiched ourselves. But this chap has a pretty weak army, and I don't want to spend too much time fighting battle after battle. So we're going to go straight for this. On the map, his reinforcements are going to appear directly behind us. We'll set up the forces there, smash the reinforcements to pieces, then deal with the garrison. So, quick save just to make sure that nothing goes awry with OBS, and I will see you in the battle. Okay, so here we are in the battle, and as you can see, Yan Baihu's troops have Vanguard deployment, which is quite useful. Reason why you want to keep him with a bow is because he has poison volley. This is brutal. The destructive power on units for this is incredible. He only has 4 uses per battle, but that's enough. Remember to chuck him on fire at will. This chap here, Yan Yu, has mending, which is a heal, which is quite nice as well, I should state. Now, like I said, their reinforcement army is going to come over here, so we're just going to set up It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty dirty, and we're going to deal with them. There are other armies over here somewhere. We'll deal with them later. Now, you don't actually want this chap to be dueling right at the beginning. What you want is your man here to duel. Reason why is because he's just going to kill him quicker. That simple. Nothing else to it. Also, he has slightly better killing ability in units, I have found. Also, just generally, Sentinels and dueling, they're pretty good. So don't worry too much. Even though this guy's the champion, he isn't Yan Baihu. Yan Baihu is better in every way. Right now, at least, anyway. We have our Remnant Warriors. Those of you who want to see what they look like, this is them here in their bronze armor. They look very, very shiny. I love the way they look. Here are our Bandit Warriors, who are, you know, less shiny, frankly. And that's them dealt with. That quick, that simple, that dirty. And our man here has almost dealt with him. I agree, he has lived too long. He's holding out quite well. Now, I believe they'll be hiding in one of these sets of trees over here, so we're going to ship up here. They have cavalry. Yan Baihu, I accidentally selected you in that. I need you to get on your horse, please. Thank you. Off you go. He has some spectacular swords as well. The White Tiger's Claws. Instinct, melee damage, expertise, that's why I use him in the duels. It's a type of Dao, I believe. Single-edged saber. It's incredible. You should also note the speed of these people. See this 105 on horseback. Horses are a lot faster in this patch than they are in the previous patches. So this gives you a lot of mobility options with horses, but they are a lot more susceptible to archer fire than they were previously. We of course do not have any archers, so dealing with these melee cav, frankly we're just going to have to front them out. We have a lot of anti-cav units, which is quite nice, but like I said, they have very low morale. So there's only so much they'll be able to do. And our Shanyue, well, they're remnants of the Yue Remnant Warriors, sorry, are slow as. So, yeah, they're going to be late to this fight. Don't worry about that too much, though. Now, our boys are level 4, so they can handle themselves against essentially glorified peasants, which is what this Yellow Turban army is. So don't worry too much about throwing people in. They might get a little bit battered. That's absolutely fine. Check this out, though. There we go. Serious destructive power. Bloody annoying. Come on. That hiding. It's like, you know where they are. You saw them there a second ago. But anyway. Poison volley. See, it's just reduced. It's killing people over time because they've got that melee attack rate down and all the rest. It's just incredible. Right. You boys are going to shift up here. You boys are going to shift over here. We're going to have one spearman unit going this direction. There we go. These people are running already. In you go. I want you to ride out for a second because, yeah, their archers have shown themselves, which is absolutely fine. They're allowed to show themselves because it opens them up to this. Go on, hurry up. Do your magic. Oh, he's got to get his perfect positioning, which is slightly frustrating. There we go. Nicely done. In you go. In you go. They're all starting to run now. It really is that simple against Yellow Turbans. This is on very hard. For those of you who have seen any of my previous playthroughs as Tata or Liu Bei for Mandate of Heaven, it's the same. It doesn't matter. The Yellow Turbans are just weak. There's nothing else to describe them. They are just incredibly weak. High tier Yellow Turbans with the Unbreakable are a frustration because they don't run and everyone else is running. And yeah, like I said, these guys are very, very slow. They're not really taking part in this fight, which is absolutely fine. They don't have to. I don't mind. Come on. Spears forward. Come on. Axis, you're into them. That's your job. Yeah, they just run in the face. And this battle should be over very, very shortly. Just going to let my axes deal with these fools over here. And as soon as they're dead, it's game over. Pretty much. Oh no, their horses have come back. Yeah, morale has been altered as well, which is why you might be seeing a lot of people running and coming back and running and coming back. That does sort of happen. People don't hang around to die like they used to. Which I actually quite like. It makes the battles have a more realistic feel. Makes the battles last a little bit longer. And you know, the casualty count, although it can still be very, very extreme, don't get me wrong, it's not crazy. You know, they have to properly route, and you need to take advantage of that route for you to get the massive casualties you would get previously. There we go, all done now. I'm not going to chase them down, we're high enough level. We've lost a few men, don't matter, end. There we go, and we've captured Yao Feng. Nothing of value to steal. So in that case, you could potentially release him for the income. He's a rank 4 general, however, so I'm going to kill him just because of the threat he would hold out later on if we were to let him live. And because it's Baby's first battle, everybody dies. Now, Baby's first battle in this patch as well is considerably harder than anything I have seen previously, which makes it quite nice. It's actually more like a battle rather than a sort of tutorial. And there we go. We have claimed our land. We've got support from the people, and we now have the weapons craftsman. Now, we've been given a mission. Yan Baihu nurtures his people. A strong realm is built upon strong foundations, buildings and establishments to foster, occupy and employ the people. They will then, in turn, give back to society, obey you and fight for you. So let the timbers rise and victory with them. So we need to construct or upgrade a building in Xindu. Now, if you remember, we're going for this, and it has 1 turn to build. So that's why I was putting an administrator in to get the reduction in cost. That's why I went for a peasantry income assignment rather than a reduction in turn time assignment as well for building, just because 1 turn you can't get it faster anyway. And we have that, which is quite nice. Now, quick look on the map before we go to the next turn. We have Liu Yao here. We have, I think this is Shugong. No, that is still Liu Yao at Xindu, and yeah, so Shugong is here. So Sun Ce is over here. He will capture Xindu. So what we are going to do, and the whole point of this is, I believe there are missions that will encourage you to take Jianan town and clear out this area, and then eventually just work your way through Yellow Turbans, which are fine. Absolutely fine. But you want to destroy Sun Ce before he gets up ahead of steam. When Sun Ce gets up ahead of steam and he's got his generals flying as well, you're in real trouble because his troops are just better than yours. So what you want to do is set yourself up so that you have a decent army. He has a relatively small army. He has a lot of shock cavalry with him, and he's going to come down here and he's going to take this fishing port. And the turn after he takes that fishing port, you want to jump on him and smash him and take it. That will give you control of Xindu and will allow you to then press into Sun Ce's land and wipe him out before anything gets going. That is just crazy important. As far as missions and everything else go down here, you have another option, which is if you're focusing on your income, like I am with this, you'll be able to afford another army. Now, there's a massive Yellow Turban army in Jianan Lumberyard. There are no real threats down here. And the mission is going to be to take Jianan town. You can rush down here and take it pretty quickly, but there's no massive point if you then need to rush back up here to deal with this. So my advice is to build up this army over time to deal with Sun Ce and build another army to go down here and deal with this. But I'll go through that in a little bit more detail as we go through the turns. I'll see you in turn 2. Okay, turn 2, and you'll get the usual pop-ups for who's declaring war against who. You don't need to worry about that too much. Now we've got the mission success, so our economy grows, reduction in construction costs, reduction in construction time, which is very useful because we built that tribute hall. That tribute hall is going to help us with income as well. The call is issued, the answer heard. While you are a powerful warrior, you alone cannot hold back the tide. You must have other fighters prepared to battle for you and with you, and to that end you must drive up recruitment, rally the loyal and able to the cause, and press them into service. Now you may wonder why I didn't recruit anyone at the end of last term. There's a reason. One, it will knacker our income. We will be able to sort out our income eventually, but we only have 481 right now, and we need to spend money on troops. Also, even were we to recruit 2 extra troops say we recruited them, we have 9 now, it would say for this one, current total 11, recruit and maintain a total of 13 units. So it doesn't matter how many you recruit, this mission will always come up and you will always need to recruit an extra 2. So my advice is just wait for this turn and recruit now. And who I would recruit is I pop into this and I would bring out our strategist, Pan Lin. You notice he's a little bit more expensive than you'd normally spend on strategists. That's because he has the Bandit Hunters. So I bring him out. Absolutely bring him out. Don't worry too much about all these faction developments here. There we go. That's all of that cleared. I would look at this too. Now we have a little bit of spare cash. You can upgrade this for 1, which will reduce your upkeep for range units. Quite nice. You get plus 75 income banditry, plus 20% reserve capacity, blah, 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 blah. Or you can look at stuff down here. Now, plus 5% research rate is quite handy, especially in the early game, because obviously the faster you research, the better you get anything, and it's dirt cheap. 270, 1 turn. I would go for that straight away, because it's just so cheap. Another thing I would do is start to spend some money on some extra troops here. Now you notice you have these White Tiger Warriors. Check out their upkeep cost. They are dirt cheap. Actually, his melee in general is dirt cheap, but these are his uniques. So I would spend the cash, get a couple of those boys in here. Here as well, you've got a selection of people you can hire who aren't bad. Raider cavalry are proper cavalry as opposed to bandit cavalry. Now, bandit gangs, like I said, have very, very poor morale. Peasant bands are useless. So for this chap, if you want to recruit anyone, I'd start to go into the cavalry just because cavalry is useful. But in general, I'm not that fast. We're just going to recruit the chaps we have there and live with it, because anything else is going to negatively affect my economy right at the beginning. Now, like I said, next turn, a mission will spawn to encourage you to take Jianan town. Don't worry about that. We're going for the lumberyard. Okay, we are going hard for this lumberyard. So we're going to shift over here 1 turn. We're still going to get replenishment, though it is relatively slow. But were we to spend some money, okay, this has gone down, but all of this has gone up. See, 3 turns. So it's quite handy, really quite handy. Our income has also gone up. So if you wanted to, for example, buy a couple more people, for example, some crossbows just for a little bit more punch, because these chaps, obviously, poor in melee, weak against cavalry, all of that stuff. They can shoot in arcs over the top, but in this game, crossbows can't, but crossbows do have the added power. You can spend some money on them because they're not bad. Yes, I will do it actually, because I know what's coming up. We'll take a small loss. That's absolutely fine. On the diplomacy front, you'll have a look. There's not much else you can do right at this time. You can pick up a non-aggression pact with Yang Feng. He's way up in the top. He's not going to pay you for it. Gives you a better relationship with other people. But basically my feeling is if they're not going to pay for it, I don't care. This chap, however, will pay. So take the money. Huaxian, military access. He's down with the yellow turbans, so he's not really going to be able to use it. We've chucked up a lot of stuff with that. And then we have Liu Yao and Wang Lang, who maybe will be interested in coalitions. So we look at this, they're a little bit far away as we stand. Let's have a look at Wang Lang. So he should be marginally better. Well, no, he's not even marginally better, even though he's on the top. So a little bit far away. what you want to do with them is just keep working over with the relationship. Liu Yao is the most likely, and when Liu Yao gets attacked by Sun Ce, he will definitely come in handy for a coalition. Also, I should state, if you have any spare ancillaries that you don't want to use, I don't have any, because of course it's random. If you get a lot and you've got some useless ones like a feather fan or something like that, chuck them out now and get your coalition now, because the earlier you can get the coalition, the better. I don't have the opportunity to do it now, so I'm not going to, but everything else is fine. And March of the Tiger. Territory is the key to building a lasting world for your people, Yan Baihu. And so your task is simple: claim more of it. You must march into battle, overcoming all defenses and obstacles, and by doing so, spread your influence and control across the land. So we need to capture Jianan town, and we'll get momentum gained, which is really good for recruitment. But obviously, yeah, it's not going to happen right now. These chaps will be at a decent level pretty soon. These chaps will be at a decent level very soon. So not too fussed. We'll wait here for one turn, then we'll start to move towards Jianan town. I will see you, Jianan Lumberyard, sorry. I will see you in the next turn. Okay, here we are with turn 3. So more war is being declared, and we have an exquisite weapon, because of course we have the weapons craftsman. This is quite useful for trading if you don't get what you want. And we'll have a look at that. So what do we have? We have Kindred Gen, and we also have a labor recruiter. Okay, that's not bad. Potential to work with both of those, actually. Yeah, quite a lot of potential. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is start to have a look at this former coalition then. So here we are with Liu Yao, who I was talking about before, -5, but we now have some ancillaries that we could potentially get rid of. So this labor recruiter is not vastly useful for me. That'll make him -3. We could even potentially throw in some food to get it done as well, because we don't need the food, and we're going to get our coalition. There. Fantastic. Coalition with Liu Yao, which is very, very nice. It gives us a little bit more access. Now, we're going to change out of this stance because we don't need it anymore. We are going to change into, you'll notice here, he has raiding stance, which is quite handy. Change into this stance, and we're going to shift into this territory. And you'll notice there's an army there that's building up. Now, we also want to look at building stuff here as well. That is a real necessity long term, but our finances are not quite there. So we're just going to have to wait a second. But the next thing you want to build in this territory is this upgrade here, because look at that garrison. And you are going to have a hostile group on the south when Sun Ce attacks. So having garrisons in these places that can deal with the enemy is quite tasty. This thing here you can convert should you wish to, which is what I would do this turn. Anyway, that's enough of this turn. I will see you next turn. Okay, so turn 4, we're losing a little bit of money, we're losing a little bit of food. That's absolutely fine. More wars being dealt with, but there is this here. Liu Yao requests our aid. While the north has been ravaged by war and the south has been a haven for refugees, exiles, and those seeking to avoid the heavy hand of the imperial court. But this peace is now broken. You receive an emissary from the local hand representative Liu Yao, who is currently under attack by Yuan Shu's vassal Sun Ce, and seeks your aid. Liu Yao is a stern figure who has shown little tolerance for your less than legal ways. If he is asking for your help, he must be desperate indeed. We get treasury of 3,000, we get financial support, which only lasts 5 turns, but you can do a lot in 5 turns, and we declare war against Sun Ce. I would do this because allowing Sun Ce to conquer unopposed is just ludicrous. He gets too powerful to deal with, and you end up in a war of attrition that frankly he's better equipped to win than you. You of course can win it, it's just time consuming. So I would join this, take the money, help him. Okay? Now, you also start to get characters arriving now. If there's anyone you fancy, always look out for the unique characters. By all means, bring them. You'll notice as well we have another assignment. We also, if you have a look here, have another trade agreement. So have a look who's going to suit you better. It's Wang Lang. So let's bring in Wang Lang, negotiate deal, give me money, you know, the usual stuff. Here we go. That's a decent some, 254, and will work quite nicely. Have always a quick check here to see if any of these chaps are actually going to pay you for anything, because it does change each turn, but 0.8 isn't going to be a huge amount. They're not going to do anything of that stuff for you. What you can also do, if you so wish, is have a look at any of the chaps nearby, so Xu Gong, Xu Zhao, Wang Lang, etc., and see if they wish to join the coalition, which some of them may not. I have not found anyone willing to write this early on, but it's always worth checking out just in case. Always worth checking out just in case. Now, like I said, we are going to attack this lumberyard here. So we're going to come out of raiding stance, go into normal stance, go straight into this lumberyard. He has an army there. It's not going to be the end of the world to fight this army. It's a bunch of peasants, basically, and he has some pretty poor generals. This chap is faction leader, so yeah, alright, fine. We might have a small challenge with him, but the other chaps are going to die pretty quickly. I will see you in the battle. And on this map, you'll see again, because we have attacked the settlement, not the armies, we have a reinforcement army coming in here, which we're going to deal with in exactly the same way. This is a theme of my early stage with Yan Baihu. It just makes a lot more sense for me, the way I play it. Just take advantage of all the tricks, all the trappings to smash the enemy in the early stage. We'll pop that. I don't wish anyone to run away as well, and we'll start the battle. So, yes, they're arriving. Yeah, let's do this shit. Get in there. Go, 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 go. Yeah, accept that. Form up here. Archers are there. You can ride forward just to create havoc. How are you doing? That's a slightly tougher fight against this chap, it has to say. Sorry, I have to say. But not game-breakingly difficult. If we hang nearby, we are going to disrupt this guy's ability to use any tricks or special abilities. Move in there. Bandit Hunters over here. Actually, all of you chaps, if you don't mind, over here. Fighting going on here. We'll just keep wrapping round. You chaps keep on advancing. You chaps keep on advancing. Like I said, we will win these fights. They just take a little bit of time. He is not the world's greatest duelist. She is rubbish. But as you can see, he's not doing... Like, he should have her as a champion, but he's not. That's why I don't advise using him to duel anyone particularly challenging, certainly in the early game. Just, he's not that effective. In you go. Right. You boys, finally. See if you can shoot them. There we go. And this wraparound is working. We are killing them. Finally, we have victory here. And when our boy gets on his horse... There we go. That'll help. Right. You can now rock up closer here. Axes, keep on advancing. And these chaps can keep moving around the flanks, lots of arrows going in, just keep dealing with them, keep breaking them, keep smashing them. That's the aim, basically. Now we have a horseman that can take part. He's going to ship round the flanks and just make sure that these chaps stay running. Because our infantry are going to win this. Absolutely going to win this. Pop this. That's going to help you with that fight. No question about that. Because it's a nice heal. And healing in a duel isn't a bad thing at all. So far, deeply unimpressed. That's just fantastic. Don't really mind that much. How are we doing? Hurry up, man. You are... There we go. All broken, all wonderful. Into those peasant spearmen. These archers have done a magnificent job. This battle now is becoming a little bit more even, which is what we wanted to see. Yeah, like I said, he is not the world's best duelist. He tries hard. He really does try hard. He is rank 4 as well, I should state. And I know scholars are not bad. They're a little bit like sentinels, but, you know, he should do better than that. However, it is done. It is done. Right. You're here now. Make sure these people run away. Archers, form up. Spears, form up. Shock troops, form up. You are just going to heal again. There we go. He can also heal the other people as well, which is quite nice, but I'm focusing more on him than anything else. Just making sure these people run away, basically. Which they look like they're going to. That's fine. Right, back over here. That's one army destroyed. Now for the other. So, like I said, use the tricks. Don't be shy about it. Speed everything up. Make sure everybody gets into position. Did you actually manage to kill anyone? 20? Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Now we need to decide where we're going to assault from. They have a big collection of troops there. I'm assuming they'll have some level of troops there. We do not have the world's greatest... what's the range on those things? It's huge, right? Yeah, we do not have the world's greatest archers or shielded troops or any of that stuff. So it is going to be a touch on the bloody side. We need to be prepared for this. Okay. We're going to advance up here, get some shots in. Tribesmen are going to go up front because they have slightly better shielding than anything else we own. These chaps are potentially a little bit more dangerous to use. So I'm going to see if they have a weak point over there and see if we can deal with them there. Right, everybody moving into position, just holding him back a touch because he's injured. And then, yeah, advance, advance, advance. Because we want to use this wonderful thing here just to absolutely wreck. And he'll dance about for a second and then he will see that. And they just slowly die. Slowly dying off. It's so brutal. Anyway, right up. Ride up, ride up, ride up. I think I'm going to have the White Tiger Warriors come up here, just to be ready. You chaps, you are heavy sword infantry. I think, can you potentially march in through there on your own? We will see. We will see. Yeah, see, they're starting to break. You're tribesmen, up you go, in formation please. You chaps. We're going to need you in there as well. So yeah, yeah, tribesmen, rush in, rush in, rush in. Let's have some seriously brutal death dealing in here. I think it's time for you to join this party too. You lads, you are heavy troops, so take the beating, get in there. You'll notice my crossbows have a lot of arrows left. That's because they can no longer do this arc fire, which makes them a little bit less useful than they were previously in sieges. I think everybody here, we should be capturing that tower soon enough. It's just cavalry in the way, right? They'll die pretty quickly. These boys have got an open door. Nice. In we go. There we go. My archers doing a wonderful job. Like I said, crossbows, less useful in sieges. A lot of punch, but generally less useful than they were previously. Keep going. Don't let the momentum stall. Okay. Well, they can. Sorry, you boys can come in here then. You also can rush in. And the tribesmen can join this party too. So how are we doing here? We killing these chaps? Yeah, we are killing these chaps. Right, keep on advancing. You lads, keep on going. Into them, into them, into them. Go. Go on, shoot over the top. Yep, you're rushing over here. You've got this done, great. Let's have some shot into these chaps. Force fire here. Now over here we've got our axes, which will deal with these spearmen pretty effectively. Our remnants will deal with pretty much everything else there. They've broken our face. Here we go. In we go, in we go. The archers are just going to collapse as soon as we hit them. Charge. Deal with them. My bandit gangs, yeah, well, is what it is. Nice of you to rejoin us. Nice of you to rejoin us. In we go. Come on. Chase those yellow turban archers. You can sit in here too. I'll deal with that. Well done. In you come. Deal with him. He's a commander. Right, everybody back in here. He's in here. We'll just speed it up because it should be game over. Yeah, game over. We lost a few men. It's absolutely fine. Absolutely expected. But we won. Right. Not bad. Loot and occupy. Smashed. There's still an army knocking about over here, which is fine. Hardly the end of the world. I'm not going to be fussed about that, because one of the things we are going to do whilst we are here, yes, we shall switch that out. One of the things we're going to do is raise an army, and we're going to bring in Liu Pingmin, our wife, and Hong Long Law, the Yellow Dragon Law. Couple of reasons. One, primarily give them something to do. Secondly, we want to continue conquering Yellow Turban lands. Getting the money, getting the income, everything else. We have the mission to conquer this. Yes, we have 25 turns to do so, but we should, just keep stuff going for them, at least. Keep stuff going. As far as this army goes, you need 2 turns to re-recruit those bandit warriors there, which is a minor frustration. We're going to bring in some more on the bandit gang. I know I said they're not very good, but just generally some more shielded troops isn't going to go amiss. I think as well for this army, some bandit raiders, just some cavalry isn't a bad option. We have the cash, yeah we do. And then on this front, I am tempted to, potentially you could go for any of this, heavy artillery, basically. But I don't think it's worth spending the money on that straight up. What instead I would do is look at getting in some more Bandit Hunters, because they're quite tasty, they're quite useful. Just for that army, they'll build up quite nicely. This army here, I would start to bring in the Axe Band here. If you compare the Axe Band versus these chaps have a decent chunk of actual hitting power. But their defense isn't quite as high. So having a nice balance between them isn't a bad idea. So I bring in a couple more of them. And then later on I'd look at bringing in some archers into this army as well. But this army is a little bit more of a slow burn, building up to deal with them there. You'll notice that we have a huge treasury because Liu Yao is paying for it, which is great. We don't need to worry about anything else on that front at all. As far as diplomacy and everything goes, you always want to be checking all the time for all of this stuff that you can do here. I know I've said that before this turn, but always, every time you take anything else, just see what else is available, because that's how you're going to start to rake in lots of money. But yeah, I will see you in the next turn. And with turn 5, we have the faction developments, Outcasts of Dragon Rock, done, which is really quite nice, That allows us to get another one. And for this, I would get the Scions of Minue. Basically, like I said, get one, then get the other. They're relatively quick, 4 turns. They provide you with extra income, extra melee, extra morale, all of that stuff, which is quite nice. It's also in the sort of area that you are attacking in. Now, this army, we need to start moving it back up this way, because you're going to see this place is going to be attacked very, very soon. So it's saying it's going to take a long time for us to get there. One of the things we can do to speed this up is whack. Speed up our recruitment, and then yeah, we'll be able to get there in time. Don't worry about it. Classics of Filial Piety, that's not bad. Potentially, maybe it isn't that much better than that. It's just plus 10 satisfaction, isn't it? Well, you have nothing. We can give that to you because that's going to keep you satisfied. Again, we always want to check this just to see if anything else has come up or if any of these things have improved in their chances. Yes, they have. So here we go. Give me more money. And it's not a huge amount from him because he's not doing great on the old cash front. But every little bit helps. As far as military access goes, nothing else there. Again, we can look at seeing if we can bring in any of our local buddies around here. So Xuzhou and Xugong. Xuzhou has a much better relationship with us. So potentially there's a higher chance, but it's still not great. He doesn't want to. Not much else we can do about that, really, unfortunately. Yeah. Not a huge amount else we can do about that. This army here, we want to keep recruiting. So what I would do is bring in some more of the old archers. And for these chaps, I bring in some spears. I know it's not a huge amount, but it's better than nothing. Just drop in there. We're gonna just hold here for a second for the mustering. He's gonna run away and run down to the town. Bear that in mind. That's not that much of a threat. Sun Tzu is on his way. You will see him appear here in the end turn phase at the beginning of next turn, certainly. Okay, so that's absolutely expected. This army, by that stage, we've got 2 turns till full replenishment. So we're gonna take this turn, then the next turn, and then we're gonna rush him. Okay, right. I'll see you in the next turn. Okay, and with turn 6, you get division in the capital. Now, this doesn't really affect us, but basically for the storyline purposes, Dong Zhuo's former generals are fighting amongst themselves, and the emperor gets shunted about. Now, at this stage, there are 2 options. Like I said, it's very likely that Sun Tzu will take Shindu Fishing Port, in which case you can take it. There is also the potential chance that he won't, and he will swing down and try and take you out at Shindu. So you have to make a decision whether you move up here or whether you move up here. For the sake of safety, what I suggest is to rush up this way. Okay? It might take a little bit longer, but simply by shifting up this way, you're almost forcing Sun Tzu to move in a certain direction. Basically, is my thinking about that. The other thing you could do is move this army towards Shindu and move him up here. To deal with that, but I think it's a waste of armies when you have all of this space down here to attack and deal with and deal damage to and all of that. This army is not looking bad. How many more turns do we have? 3 turns before it benefits, before it's fully replenished. Okay, well, that's not bad. They can wait for a second. These chaps here, we're gonna stop worrying too much. If we drop down this much, okay, we're gonna head up in march stance all the way up here, just because we're going to see if we can block Sun Tzu, force him to take Xindu fishing port. We still move almost as quickly around this way as we would the other way. Character development, see if there's anyone you fancy. Division in the capital we've already seen. Over here, always check the quick deal to see if there's anything you can do to sell. So military access for Wang Lang, that's not bad. How much will he spend on this? Request some payments. He doesn't have a vast amount of money, so we're not expecting world-beatingly high numbers, but there we go, that's not bad. See how close we can get it to 400. Ooh, that'll be fine. Other thing, Young Feng, but will he offer us a decent amount for it? It's unlikely. That's only going to be like 50. Yeah, no, not interested. Non-aggression, nobody there that looks fantastic either for that, so don't worry too much. This army here, however, we're going to start to shift towards this Jian'an bandit camp, and we're going to spend some money, which is going to speed up our recruitment. We're actually not going to head all the way down to the town in this playthrough, but that will be where she ends up heading off to. Just so you know, we want to keep stuff moving along here, income increasing, things like that. So black market is quite useful because the black market gives benefits to banditry and income from banditry, and this is all banditry income from here. So yeah, all right, I will see you in the next turn. Again, because this game, there's an element of randomness to everything that happens between turns. This has appeared here. Wu Jing is a vassal of Yuan Shu, I believe. He wants to pay me a chunk of money to get involved in this fight. I have no problems with that at all. They're all friends with Sun Tzu, Yuan Shu, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to accept. Bear in mind, these things pop up. Sometimes you also may see mercenary contracts pop up. I wouldn't take any right now. I wouldn't. They'll pay you a lot of money, but you do not need to have that type of trouble. Right. Li Xian has taken the Emperor, so all of this is kicking off. You don't need to worry about that too much. We're now at war with Wu Jing, and Lu Bu has fled to Liu Bei. None of that directly affects us whatsoever. So, by moving here, which is, I know, against what I said a couple of turns ago, but it has forced Sun Tzu to come towards Xindu. So you have the choice, either way. Either Sun Tzu comes down here and starts to march towards Xindu, or you move up here and he marches towards the fishing port. Yeah, like, either way, it doesn't really affect you negatively. You still get the same result. You still end up fighting him. Right, these chaps are ready. We can start to march down here. Big armies forming here, don't worry about it, we're going to go hit them in the rice paddy. Their low supplies and everything else means an increase in campaign movement and enables scare when attacking on the campaign map, which is why I'm operating with such a small force with such a low number of supplies. If we ship off around this way, we'll be able to deal with anything they throw at us. These are all peasants as well, so if we fight them one-to-one, they're going to suffer. Over here, Jiabo has got obfuscation, which is quite nice. It gives you night battles and +3 cover. Honglong Law is a little bit unhappy. Don't worry about that too much. He'll sort himself out over time. Our chaps here are going to rush as fast as humanly possible. There is a temptation to drop some loot, but it will reduce our ability to move super quickly. So no, don't worry about it. We're going to move as fast as we can round here. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave this one here. Sorry, I'm not going to get to fight it, but otherwise this episode is going to be incredibly long. But I will let you know what happens exactly next. So in the end turn, Sun Ce will take Shindu fishing port. You will advance up to this area here. Sun Ce will come to attack you. He has a little bit of cavalry. He has some very good mercenary infantry. He has some mercenary archers, which are all very good. And he has a trebuchet. You have, by this stage, a little bit of cavalry. Your cavalry is not as good as his, so don't try and combat it. Use them for harassing. Your infantry is actually pretty solid, apart from these guys who are useless for morale purposes, but they'll be able to check his raider cavalry. Sun Ce himself is a match for any of your generals. He is crazy, and some of his abilities can make your chaps run like hell. So what you want to do is kind of try and work him down, especially with the poison arrow shots, works quite nicely. Keep Panlin nearby when you fight, and that will reduce their ability to pull off a lot of his specials. Don't worry about dueling him too much. You can also run away with Yan Baihu. He should be able to out-duel you. Every time I have fought that, Yan Baihu has been out-dueled, even though theoretically Sentinel should be better than a Vanguard at it. He has been out-dueled, but it doesn't matter too much. You can use it to wear him down. If you are going to do it, use Yan Yu. Yan Yu, like I said, isn't very good, but that heal keeps him in the fight for a long time. But you want to smash his troops and he will break. He is ultimately just a Vanguard. He's a very, very good Vanguard, but he is just a Vanguard. So this troop balance for him isn't the most effective. You will be able to beat him in that fight there. Down here, like I said, you want her to peel off this way and go to Jianan Rice Paddy. Take that. That's going to give you food and income, because remember, your deal with Liu Yao is going to run out soon, so you're going to have to start paying for things. When she's gone in there and dealt with that, you should be able to recruit Zhou Bo, who you want to pull out of assignments here. Okay, you're going to bring him into your army so you can fight night battles. Don't worry about giving him too many extra men, you don't need them. And then you're going to assault the town, and you're going to fight these guys. Attack, night battle, take out one army. Attack, night battle, take out the town. Okay, that will then give you the whole of Jianan, and a mission will pop telling you to increase your faction rank. Right now you're aiming to get towards Raider. When you get to Raider, you get more assignments, more administrators, more trade agreements, all of that stuff, same as you would for anything else. And that will work quite nicely in your favor simply by continuing to attack the Yellow Turban settlements, which there are a few knocking around this area. You will pick it up pretty damn quickly. So if you use this army just to keep smacking Yellow Turbans down here. Once you've beaten Sun Ce and taken Shindu here, remember you're now at war with Wu Jing, potentially, but even if you're not, Lujiang, not Lumberyard, but the actual city, is held by Sun Ce. So take the attack that, wipe out his faction. Then you can attack Wu Jing, okay? And that will give you a very solid base to work off. You want to long-term try and bring in Wang Lang and Xu Gong into your coalition down here. Don't worry about expanding into their territory. Make friends with them, bring them into your coalition, okay? Be friendly, be super reliant on them for that. Spend money on expanding into the deserted territories, of which there are still a fair few numbers. And then basically the world's your oyster. Attack Yuan Shu would be my next choice, because you've already taken out his vassals by that stage. And that will bring in a lot more income from other means, because he has pretty industry heavy. He doesn't have, well, it depends whether he's taken out Liu Chong by that stage, but Liu Chong's land obviously has a lot of food, but you'll be able to advance into that area, into the Central Plains, pick up more industry, pick up more food. And yeah, that will set you up for the rest of time. You want to keep using diplomacy to pull in other bandit factions when they become available on your diplomatic choices. Also other minor factions who are unaffiliated to any major factions, or who are not particularly loyal to the Han, let's say, and pull them all together. The Emperor will eventually be juggled around so much and the whole thing will collapse, so you don't need to get too directly involved in that. And sort of by turn 35, turn 40, you should have a nice little empire of the south with a decent coalition and a huge chunk of this territory up here. which will allow you to progress as you wish, because this territory will be safe. Liu Yao, Xugong, Wanglang will just not upset you from then on, pretty much. Take out Yuan Shu, and his vassals here will give you good territory. Liu Biao is a little bit of a problem over here. You've got Cao Cao, you've got Liu Chong if he survives up here. Zheng Jiang is here, who is a potential ally. Liu Bei, who's quite powerful. Liu Bu, who potentially is quite powerful. And Kong Rong in this area as well. So once you have Yuan Shu, your next advance is into Cao Cao and into Liu Bei. And when you've taken that area up there, you're loaded and just keep pushing until you become emperor. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have found it useful. This is a little bit more challenging a start. It says it's an easy start, but it's a little bit more challenging a start than perhaps easy starts would be in other DLC for this game or in the base game. Money is an issue because bandits are not very good at administration, so pulling in income is a little bit difficult. You want to take contracts to fight as a mercenary in wars where you are able to actually take part in, where you can actually fight the enemy. When you get stuff from like Li Jue saying, oh, go attack Martang, or Martang's all the way up here somewhere, so you're not going to be able to take part in that, so just don't accept those contracts. Anything that's relatively nearby, for example, if Liu Biao says, hey, can you fight He Yi, because He Yi's over here, take it, he'll pay you a couple of grand, you smash him, smash He Yi, sell the land back to Liu Biao, you know, all of that stuff, it'll work in your favor. Yan Baihu is a lot of fun to play as, a lot of fun. Again, I apologize, we haven't had the fight with Sun Tzu, but that would happen in 2 turns time, and that's just a little bit too long for this episode. But I hope I've explained this well enough, and yeah, there you go. What is that, 7 turns? Perfect start for Yan Baihu. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye bye.